Hi children, Mrs. Reed here. I've got a globe on the screen which can only mean one thing. That's right, we're continuing our geography lessons on North America. And by the end of today's lesson, it would be great if you had a better understanding of the terms landscape, physical geography, mountain, desert, rainforest, and tundra. Today's learning objective is to describe and understand how the key aspects of physical geography have shaped the landscapes of North America. And I know that in your last lesson you were learning the differences in physical geography and human geography. Human geography means created by man, like the Statue of Liberty or totem poles, and the physical features are the natural features, like the Rocky Mountains or Niagara Falls. Today, we're going to be looking more closely at the physical features that have shaped the landscapes. The continent of North America covers such an enormous area that many different landscapes and climates can be found. Do you know what these two words mean? Landscape refers to the visual features of an area, like mountains or lakes or rivers. The climate refers to the usual weather conditions of that area, such as snow or rain or sun. There are four main landscapes within North America: mountain, tundra, rainforest, and desert. We're going to look into each more closely and describe the physical features and the climate of each landscape. Have a careful look at the landscapes on the following 4 slides. Take as much time as you need and think of some descriptive words for each of the landscapes. You can pause each one as you go along if you like and make some notes. Desert. A desert is a barren area of landscape where little rain falls, so living conditions are difficult. Barren means that there's hardly anything there, and the plants that are there are either plants like cactus that rely on very little water, or tiny shrubs that erupt out of the sand as soon as there's a very slight amount of rain. Tundra. Have you heard the word tundra before? It's a geographical word for a snowy region. A tundra is a vast, flat, treeless Arctic region where the subsoil is permanently frozen. Again, it's quite difficult for animals and plants to survive there. They need to be specially adapted, like this reindeer on the right. Rainforest. A rainforest is an area of high, almost continuous rainfall, and it's typically a tropical, dense, thick forest. It's able to sustain lots of wildlife, like the bears on these photographs, and parrots and snakes, and all sorts of animals live in the rainforest. Mountain. A mountain is a landform that rises high above its surroundings. A mountain range is a series of mountains close together. Perhaps the most well-known mountains in North America are the Rocky Mountains. Did you manage to think of some descriptive words to put into each of these sections while you were looking at those beautiful photographs? Now here are just a few of the words I've come up with to describe the landscapes. First of all, the mountain landscape. You could obviously describe that as rocky, jagged, craggy, hilly, and it might also be quite steep if you were trying to climb it. And the first one, rocky, actually is the name of the Rocky Mountains in North America. The tundra can be described as snow-covered, bleak, hardly anything living or surviving there, windswept, certainly cold, and harsh. Harsh means it would be a very difficult environment to live in. Then we'll come on to the desert photographs. The desert is hot and sandy. Undulating means that the wind blows the sand up and down into waves, and those are called dunes. And of course it's very, very dry because there isn't much rainfall there, if any. Then finally, rainforest. Very wet and tropical. And the undergrowth is really, really thick if you imagine fighting your way through it. Verdant is a word that means very, very, very green and lush growing. And it's going to be noisy as well, with all of the wildlife and parrots and bears and all of the little creatures living underfoot. And now on to today's activity. I would like you to pause the video and take out a piece of paper and a pencil from your home learning pack. If you would like to, you can use a ruler and divide your page into 4. I would like you to write each of the headings in turn: mountain, tundra, desert and rainforest, and write a sentence or 2 about each one. And it would be absolutely lovely if you could illustrate each of these with a little picture, just as I have. Keep your sentences safe because we're going to be using them in the next lesson. Let's have a think back over what we've learned this lesson. Would you be able to tell me what landscape means? And physical geography? And did you manage to draw a picture and write a sentence about the mountains, deserts, rainforest and tundra? I hope so, and I'm sure you did. And just to remind you, as always, please share your work with us.